So again, since I'm a kid, I'm writing. When I was in my young teens, when I was already 13, 14, 15, I was writing by the Fabrengens, the Fabrengen, not just words. I was writing then. So I
You're
still
talking
have,
about still on the hookup.
yeah, the Lameds, Lamed Ches, Lamed Tes, Mem, Mem Aleph, Mem Beis. When I was out, when I was not in New York, I would sit and write the Fabrengen. And I would also record the Fabrengen. I would make tapes as well. And so I would keep it with me. The WLCC wasn't so advanced in that time, and the Hanochas could have come a few weeks later. So it was good to have with you a reminder. Sometimes the Rebbe said a sikha about the parsha, about whatever it is, and I had a non-Lubavitcher teacher, and the Lamed Ches and Lamed Tes, the Fabrengens of Shabbos were always Matzah Shabbos, and school would start late. He wouldn't know, because he was not Lubavitch, if there was a Fabrengen or not. So he would come regular time. He'd come at 9 o'clock, and we wouldn't come in until 10:30. And it frustrated him. And one time, after a few weeks like this, he said, okay, so you were up for 3 or 4 hours from 11 o'clock to 3 in the morning, and you're coming late in the morning for your Gemara shir. Tell me, what did the Rebbe say in these 3, 4 hours? And so we started giving Chazara. And he said, forget about the Gemara shir, continue. He got very inspired, and he started coming himself to once or twice. Didn't come every week, but didn't come every time, but he came once or twice. He says, this is Meiredik, this is Chidushi Torah, and this is inspiring. He was very taken. So anyway, so when you had a particularly heavy sikha, a beautiful Rashi sikha, or something like that, it was good to have in writing. So I had experience in this area to begin with. And I came in Mem Gimel, when I was in New York, I came to learning in all the Torah.
Zal?
I was in Zal, right. The Zal was on Troy Avenue those days. And I was asked to come in to be Magia, to check for mistakes. Those days, it would all be typed. So Simon Jacobson, who was the writer, he would type it up, and then it would undergo different people would look it over. His father-in-law for language, and then other people who were writing the Ha'aras, Maramakamis. And so it was retyped again to be in the format of printed Hanachas, like you have it today. But the retyping needed to be perfect. It needed to be without mistakes. So I came in without mistakes. And within a few months, though, I was already getting involved with the writing. But then, in the beginning of Mem Daled, in Tevis of Mem Daled, I had one of the biggest chus of my life, that we were chosen, 10 Bachrim were chosen to go to open up a yeshiva in South Africa, Johannesburg. So we left. When we came back at the end of Mem Hay. That's why I said before, Shavuos Mem Dalet, I was in South Africa. Shavuos Mem Hay, we were still in South Africa. It was a 2-year, not to come back in the middle type of shlichus. And so we came back in Elul of Mem Hay. And so Mem Vav, we got very involved. In Mem Zayin, Pesach time, Vayakov Pekudei was the first one. We started giving out the Teichen Kotzer. Teichen Kotzer was more than a Rad. A Rad was like 2 pages. So Teichen Kotzer was a smaller version in Hebrew of what the Rebbe said, a brief version.
So first there was a Rad?
No, the first thing came out was Teichen Kotzer.
So when was the Rad something else?
The Rad came out because Lahak also wanted to give something out, I guess. I don't know how.
So the Rad is Lahak, okay.
Yeah. Teichen Kotzer came out from Menachos Atmimim, and I was extremely involved by that point. Mem Zayin, we were writing already. And, but the Teichen Kotzer, I was writing it together with Chaim Abrams, who today is in Postville, Iowa. And we were on shlichus together in South Africa. And then it's a Mem Vav. The problem with Mem Vav was when we came back from South Africa, Tishrei Mem Vav, David Raskin, Oliver Shalom, came over, and he said that he wants us to go to Ocean Parkway. Ocean Parkway needs a lot of chizuk. He wants us to go to Ocean Parkway. So we told him, I'm sorry, we just came back from 2 straight years without seeing the Rebbe, and we are done. We're finished. And he started badgering us. David Raskin was very good at getting things done. So he came in, but there was a brick wall.
The Rebbe said, as you wrote about him, Meretz Lasia Bepeil.
He really did.
Getting things done.
Right. And he knew that it would be critical. The Ocean Parkway was about to fall apart. And he was relentless. And
they had a Zal there?
They had a Masifta Zal. So the kids were 13, 14, 15, and we were 21, 22, 23. Mm-hmm. And we were not listening. There was no way he was going to get us to go. There was just absolutely no way. So he went over to the Rashag, and the Rashag had a Yechidus with the Rebbe in Genena Tachten in the beginning part of Tishrei. And the Rashag asked the Rebbe if he could make this happen. He said he wants the kfutza we came back from South Africa to go dafka this kfutza. Everybody's talking about this kfutza. So we didn't know any of this, but Simchas Torah that year, Mem Vov, was on Monday, Tuesday. And on either later in the end of that week, maybe Thursday that week or Sunday of the next week after Shabbos Bereshis, Binyamin Klein sent a message that he wants all the 10 Bachrim to come in to get Maskidas. I said, we're going to the Maskidas, and he says, the Rebbe wants you to go to Ocean Parkway. Huh? The Rebbe wants you? So one of the Bachrim, with a little bit of guts, said to him, what? The Rebbe said it? What did the Rebbe say? What did the words the Rebbe say? So he says, I'll tell you exactly what the Rebbe told me. So the Rebbe said, Ich will, die Kwutze, was ist zurückgekommen von dort in Afrika, sollen fahren in Ocean Parkway. I want that the group that returned from South Africa should go to Ocean Parkway. 7:30 the next morning, we were all at the Seder, and we stayed longer than any other group that was sent to Ocean Parkway. We stayed all the way into Iyar, basically almost to the end of the year. So Mem Vov, we weren't really around. We didn't miss any Shabbos, of course, and we didn't miss any Farbrengen in the weekday. Even the sudden Farbrengens didn't take that long to get from Ocean Parkway to 20 minutes. So we were there, but we weren't like b'soichayin. I would come back to check over the Hanochas every time, or they would send it to me, or so I was involved, but not. It didn't have my whole focus. But Mem Zion was a great year in that sense. We didn't go anywhere. And so we started the Teichen Kotzer then. And I remember I was the head counselor in Gan Yisrael in Toshen Mem Vov. And in Mem Zion,
there's a video of you when the camp comes.
Avremel Shem Tov told me he needs to go over with one of the head counselors to get dollars. And he found me. So I went with him. Yeah. But in Mem Zion, he came to me again. And I wanted, once you're there, you really, it's a special schus to be the head counselor there. But Simon Jacobson told me, now that you're writing the Teichen Kotzer, camp is finished. Your talucha on Simchas Torah is finished. You need to be at the Farbrengens. You need to be there on time, and you need to be. You can't shirk your responsibility. Even when I became a chassan and I wasn't able to, he says you need to find a replacement or else don't get married.